Branding. Now, this is a topic that I've wanted to talk about, but I actually don't talk about on my channel a lot, but it's a very important part. And there's so much confusion when it comes to branding. Today I have Andrei joining me, who is not only a trademark expert, a branding expert, he is a CEO of Trademark Factory, which has helped me done a number of trademarks, right? And also been my student and mentee for more than 3 years. So today we are going to give you some strategies on how do you build your brand and how do you think bigger? Or do you need to trademark? Do you not need to trademark? But also, how do you market better? How do you get your message out there? Now, let's talk about branding, for example. And with me, we have now a number of trademarks, and we're getting so many trademarks.
We just did a report for you.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's a lot of trademarks.
We have a lot of trademarks. Now, you may be wondering why do I have so many trademarks? Example, this is a trademark that Andrei helped me to trademark, this one is not easy because it's my name, Dan Lok, right? Yeah. Why is it not easy to trademark a personal name?
Because trademarks offices want to make sure that you're not trying to hijack somebody else's name. And if the name is common, like John Smith, that's a huge problem. So with you, it was a little easier. But the funny thing is in Canada,
you can tell the story, it's quite funny.
We got an objection
that
from the trademarks office. It says, it looks like you're trying to trademark a name of a famous person and we don't allow you to do that. So they say, even though the name is not common, it's a name of the famous person and you can't have it. So we had to prove that Dan Lok's company is actually
I'm the one that's trademarking, want to protect my name.
Yes.
But it's a very detailed description from the Canadian trademark office, right? Entrepreneur, a multimillionaire, like it's like, okay, so they want proof to show that I'm actually, this me that is trademarking, right? Very, very interesting. So my name, that's itself, it's a trademark, a number of brands that are trademarks. I'll tell you a quick story, how I learned about trademark. So when I was way younger, 20-some years old, I was just marketing online, and I registered this domain name called Stealth Marketing. I thought it's a good name, Stealth Marketing. I thought I would turn to the website, or it would be some kind of a product or something like that. I don't know. I own a bunch of domain names, right? So I registered mark, didn't do anything, just parked there, right? For a few months. Suddenly, I got a big envelope in the mailbox. I'm like, what is this? And I open up, it's like almost this thick, 100 pages from some trademark lawyer.
They love to write long letters.
And
so intimidating.
And it's very intimidating. And basically, it's the letter saying that, hey, I think with Stealth, it's a trademark, you cannot use it, we're gonna shut you down. And it's very powerful. Within all the pages, it's basically big companies that has lost against trying to fight with this mark. You said, I forgot, but big company, like Sony or whatever, huge company, they all lost, right? I'm like, what the hell is this? It's so it's a young guy was so scary, man, getting a lawsuit or whatever. I got on the phone with the guy, he said, no. So we know that you just parked a domain name. Now, if you've been selling through domain name, we could have actually want to sue you or want to even a percentage of your earning. They actually have the right to do that. Can you imagine this?
They can go for all the money that you
all
made.
the money that you made.
Can
you imagine that, right? So, you're not using the mark, you haven't used the mark yet, so all you need to do is just don't use the mark, kind of surrender, then it'll be fine. And that's the very first idea, my first exposure when it comes to trademark. Wow, this is a very serious matter. It's a nice to have. When you grow to a certain point, imagine if I've been running that business or marketing that website for a number of years, suddenly I get this kind of nasty letter and they could go after all the money that I've earned. Imagine the impact you would have, right, for your business. So that's when I learned a little bit more about trademark, why that's important.
I was just gonna say, it's a very cheap lesson that you got.
Oh yeah, cheap lesson, yes.
You got a domain name.
But scared the shit out of me though. It scared the shit out of me.
And luckily you didn't invest a lot into this, so you could have easily just okay, there you go, I'm done. And it taught you the lesson.
It taught me the lesson.
Much better than spending years trying to build it up. And then once you build it up, people start to notice and then they shut you down.
Yeah, then they shut you down, which is no good. So now every idea, business idea, product or program or service, whatever I'm gonna offer, whatever name I come up with, the first thing I do, right? I would contact Andrei and say, hey, Andrei, can you help me to see if this is trademarkable? And we've done this many, many times back and forth. I'll come up with this idea and this brand, and I would shoot over a message to Andrei. Andrei's like, okay, let me do some research, and he'll come back to me. Sometimes will be, okay, good to go, or sometimes, I don't know, it could be 50-50, or like no way in hell. There's no way in hell you can trademark it. Just don't waste. So then I'm not spending time and money pursuing an idea, knowing that I cannot even protect it. It's almost like you are building a house and you buy a piece of land, right? You invest the money, you hire the crew, and you build this beautiful home, and suddenly someone comes to your house and say, you know what, this is not your house, it's my house. Right? You don't own this house. I said, what do you mean? I've been living here for 10 years. Nope, it's not your house. You don't have the right to be living in this house. That's what I've learned. And that's why I'm like very careful, especially why I trademark my name, because now the name, a lot of people now are using my names to I have social media, I have like people using my name, set up fake Facebook group, fake social media account, pretending to be me, giving investment advice, telling people to buy fucking cryptocurrency, all this stuff that just to protect myself, I need to do that, right?
Maybe you should share how much easier it started to shut down
all
those profiles with a registered trademark.
With a registered
just
trademark,
saying, that's my name, I'm well known.
We contact any social media platform, let's say Facebook or Instagram, we show them, hey, we've got this trademark, and they could shut it down like very, very quickly. So when it comes to your brand now, the next question maybe is, when should I trademark my name? My answer is, if you think you are going to be building a good business, then you should definitely trademark your name. But don't expect that having the name itself is not going to build your business, right? That's the expectation. It's not, oh, I've got this perfect name, I've got this perfect brand, great logo, then my business would explode. It's not like that. But if you know that it's going to grow, it's going to go someplace, and you believe in your marketing ability, your business acumen, then it's good to trademark it early, then before you get it out there, right?
Actually, if you look at all the big successful companies, they've trademarked their brand. They filed their first trademark usually even before they launched.
Yes.
So Uber filed 2 months before.
You had Uber.
Stripe.
8
months before they launched. Google, Facebook, same month when they launched. I love the Coca-Cola story.
Oh yes, tell the Coca-Cola story.
So they filed their first trademark in 1892. They're still renewing the same trademark. By the way, trademarks is the only type of intellectual property you can renew forever. So 1892, when they were selling 9 drinks a day. I call it a lemonade stand with a drink.
9 drinks a day.
Right? And first thing they do is they incorporate to get the trademark, because they know that if this brand is going to go somewhere, they need to own the brand. And now they do. Now the brand itself, just the brand, is worth $73 billion.
Just the brand, not the factory,
not the
all the assets, anything like that.
Just the brand.
Just the brand, right? What if also share the George Clooney story? I think that's a very good story.
Oh yeah. So 5 years ago, he and his partner comes up with an idea for a brand of tequila. First thing they do, they go and trademark it.
Yes.
Then it takes them a year to get the trademark, and then they finally find a manufacturer, a distiller in Mexico to actually make the thing. So first they come up with a name, then they brand it,
and then
they trademark it, then they make the thing. They start getting some traction on social media, they started getting some
George
sales.
Clooney.
George Clooney, and they sold it to Diageo, the biggest distiller company in the world, for $1 billion.
In
5 years. 5 years.
Right, 5 years.
All they had, the name that was trademarked, then they start making a drink, and it's a good tequila, but it's a $50 tequila. It's not a $5,000 tequila.
And from a company point of view, you think about the revenue. Do you know how much revenue they were doing before they sold it?
No, I don't.
But definitely not
a lot less than that.
A lot less. It's not
a lot less than that.
So it's the brand that's worth $1 billion, not from a typical. You look at a company, how much the company's worth, kind of like EBITDA or earning and all that stuff. So it's pretty incredible when you think about the power of branding. So that's the basics of why you need a trademark, why you need a brand, how do you protect your brand. In the next episode, then we're going to dive into a little bit more exactly how do you use it, how do you monetize it, and also how do you take your brand to the next level. So make sure, stay tuned and watch the next episode. And any questions, comment below.